South African necklace. Well, look who we have here.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Well, hello and welcome from wherever you're watching. Today we have a guest, Joshua Washington. He's a speaker and certified leadership trainer. Can you please tell our viewers a little about yourself?
Well, good morning, everyone. As she mentioned, I am Joshua Washington, and the founder of the Joshua Mentality, which is a leadership development kind of focus on youth and young professionals. And I also own an organizational psychology firm which focuses on businesses helping their people maximize the value within their people. So glad to be here, team.
Oh, glad to.
Welcome, Joshua.
Yes.
Great. I like that name too.
Well, thank you.
I
Thank you.
It's a
Well,
new generation.
Mr. Joshua is sitting in for Giselle Bobby Royale, who's out on medical leave, but she'll be back sometime soon. So thank you for coming.
Glad to be
But
here.
we'll start with this one here. The Delta variant is actually fueling fear because now it's in the United States of America.
Goodness, it seemed like it just never stopped. So the Delta variant is now known as Delta Plus, which started
There's a
off.
plus to it.
There's a plus to it. It just keeps
I
growing.
only know a plus when
It
it's an
keeps
iPhone. So
growing.
if it's a coronavirus,
So it's
wow.
now Delta Plus, started in India. There are trials going on for vaccine. However, the vaccine is 2 vaccines plus an additional. So it's called a booster. It's in the trial stages right now. They don't know if it's going to work. So far, the people that they've tested it on said every time they take the 3rd shot, it's worse than that second Moderna shot. It's claimed to be the most infectious, so we really need to be able to get a handle on it. But it's spreading really quickly. It's a problem.
Well, it's at now 60%. I mean, it's 60% more contagious than the Alpha variant, and in the United States of America alone, we have almost 20% of cases that are people who are affected by this. So I think we have to go back to having to wear our masks and just be careful because you do not want to get it or you don't want to infect somebody if you have it.
I've seen so fewer people wearing masks lately.
Yeah.
It seems like it's very comfortable. Everybody is just
Wanna go
going
back
along
to
with the flow.
normal.
They want to be
Yeah.
back to normal. And I just don't know if we have a normal or
Right.
is our normal wearing a mask, for another 2 or 3 years before we can get this thing under control, whatever it is, because I just, I have a small child. My mother lives with me. Like, it just would not work for my household.
Oh, it will not work.
I can't be responsible for bringing something like that back. So I still wear my mask. I try to be vigilant about it, but it seems like it's just a really relaxed culture now.
It's a relaxed
true.
culture because with every state, every governor is doing pretty much whatever they want. I mean, let's talk about the governor here. Before the mask mandate was, put in place, he had already lifted his up. So it's a little bit different with dealing with the people who are head of states. But I don't know what you think, Joshua, about this Delta variant now in almost, I think, a few states.
No, but I would agree. Having a small child makes a huge difference because you don't want to bring that home.
Yeah.
And then not knowing how it affects our children is, I think, the scariest thing. I got a 1-year-old, and I think you were mentioning
I have a 7-month-old.
7 months. So
I have a
Wow.
2 months old.
so not knowing how it affects the babies is, I think,
Yeah,
is
that's-
really nerve-wracking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Really, really nerve-wracking.
It
You
is.
just can't
It's
take
scary.
chances.
Yeah, and you cannot take chances on this. But I mean, I hope people are going to mask up and wash their hands and protect the people that you love. Like Erica said, I also have a mother who's 76, and we didn't like the COVID that we got, so we don't like the Delta variant. Well, Seattle Black Events asked the white attendees to pay reparations. So they were having, hold up. They were having an event. They were having an event, and they said, if you are white, you are paying from $10 to $50 reparations for all those stuff you took from
I'm
us.
glad everybody else is laughing because I couldn't take
Take
this
it seriously.
seriously.
I couldn't.
Y'all gotta stop. Now, come on.
Please.
How?
Please.
And this is a pride, this is an LGBT event, and I understand that there are historical problems with white gay, black gay relations. It's there. It's just as prevalent as the rest of racism in America. But with that, y'all can't do that. You cannot tell people that if you want to come party with us, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
You gotta pay to play.
There's a way we can get
Y'all cannot do
reparations.
that. Don't do that, y'all.
Oh, but what got me was the name. It's not a fee. We want reparations.
We want reparations,
For our
yeah.
event.
I mean, there is a way to get reparations.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get these reparations, and they've been trying. I mean, if you think about Africa, we've been trying to get reparations for years, but we haven't gotten anything. But I think this was a little bit far-fetched. I
I thought it was funny. Y'all know I thought it was funny.
I know you.
And I said, yeah, let them pay that money. That's what I did. I knew my best to be as honest as I can on this show and transparent. Y'all know I'm an open book, and I thought it was funny. And the funny thing I thought about is because the two other ones complained to the city about them being charged, and they said they didn't like to reverse racism or reverse this. And then after that came out, people, they have an event too, and people start pulling away from it. So then they wanted to issue an apology to say, oh, we didn't mean it that way. We didn't mean to do separation. I think it was like just a gag and being funny. Like, you know what? This is a free event. So why are you going to complain to us about a free event? If you have to pay, just do a donation. I don't think they should have said reparations fee.
Yeah.
I think that was just kind of being funny, and they didn't think it was going to go viral. I think it was just being funny when they said reparations fee.
But
they need to pay. They need to pay.
I think they were
I think they were serious.
I think it was being funny.
I think what was funny is when they said, so if you kind of white, you pay $10. If you white, you pay $50.
So imagine them at the gate. They're scanning for the skin color. Okay,
You
white,
kind of
baby, I want
white,
30.
you get $10.
Oh no, yeah.
It was just being
I
funny.
wouldn't bust for nothing.
I thought they were just being funny. I think they're letting
I hope
people
it was
in.
a funny thing,
No,
but
I think they'll let 'em in.
while we're in this environment where there's so much racial tensions, we have to be careful how we play with words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they
Because
were just being funny.
we are really dealing with us getting real reparations as Black America. So if we play with the word reparations around like this, I don't think people will
should
take us
throw it out
seriously.
like
That's
that.
very
That's
on
true.
it.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful. But Senator Raphael Warnock, we all loved him from Atlanta, denounces voter suppression, filibuster, hypocrisy. And I love this man. I don't care what people are going to say. He was a pastor and now he's into politics, and I was going for him to win. So I like what he's doing, and I hope that his party or both parties are going to understand how this is affecting people.
Yeah, I think he addressed Congress. He was saying that it's over 300 bills that have been put into place by Republicans across the state because of what happened in November. And he said, they need to stop doing that. We need to do our jobs. We need to do what we were brought here to do. And he said that some people were using filibusters as a racism hiding behind the Senate to get things done or to uphold their white supremacy. And you know what? It's hypocrisy. They need to stop doing that. Do your job. So he said it's Jim Crow in new clothes, and he is correct. It is Jim Crow in new clothing. Got new wineskin that need to be burnt, cut, severed, and whatever you got to do,
Come
head
on,
cut off,
Katina.
decapitated, whatever you need to do, they need to stop it, and it needs to be federal. Voting needs to be federal across the board. Every state should not be able to do their own voting laws because it doesn't work. Because everybody has different things that they do, and I think, you know what? You doing what you're supposed to do. I'm glad that I gave money to your campaign. Bruh.
Oh, you
Do
did?
your thing. Listen, bruh, do your thing and let them people have it. Black and other. Because sometimes we don't do what we need to do as well when we get in those places. So
Our democracy is under attack with a loaded gun. The same gun that's used to kill Black people, they're using this gun now to take away our voices, to take away our votes, the rights to vote. So we have to be careful with that. I just want to mention a few of the acts for the People Act that they're trying to impose. And of course, they don't want it to happen. So they want to modernize Voter Registration Act, which we need to, restore voting for people with prior convictions, which we need to, and strengthen mail voting system. Now, there's a long list that goes under that, but everything that he's standing for and that he's speaking about is what we need today. Our voices are trying to be silenced. They're trying to stop us from voting. And all of this because Donald Trump became president and then lost it.
Yeah.
Come on.
So now it's a problem because the people say something nice on TV.
PG-13.
PG-13. But it wouldn't have been a problem
PG-13.
had he continued on.
Come on.
Yeah.
Joshua, what do you
I
think about?
I'm glad you all are talking about this because my biggest concern is the knowledge gap.
Come on.
I think oftentimes in the black community, we don't really step into these conversations because we don't know about it. So I think that's one of the things to point out. But also, I worry about this brother because I think he might be outmanned. I don't think there's enough people in the House or in the Senate that want to see the minority vote continue to rise up as it did in this last election. So I would encourage people, if you're watching out there and you are hearing this conversation, to get involved because your voice is at stake when we're
Come
talking
on.
about this
I
thing.
feel like you're on the
Yes.
campaign trail. Get involved.
Yeah.
And particularly because people are making their voices heard and electing people like him, electing these ground-shaking, you know, groundbreaking new philosophers, really, because a lot of the politicians that are coming into position, they become philosophers for their constituency.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so I think a lot of people are really starting to see the power of our vote and the power of our voices. And then when we elect people like him, they really want to shut this down.
Exactly.
They really want to shut
And,
it down.
and this is what he said real quick. What we do or fail to do will have long-lasting and far-reaching implications for the health, viability, and vitality of the world's greatest democracy. Up next is What's Brewing. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back. Britney Spears was in court yesterday and she said, I am depressed, I am angry, I am unhappy, and I want my father to go to jail. She's tired of being a slave to her father.
Oh,
I mean,
poor
this-
Britney. This bar. No, I'm serious. This
Oh, you're serious?
I had to check
No. Listen now. Wait a minute now.
Okay.
Y'all know I'm blackity black, but I
Blackity
love
black,
everybody.
black.
And this is ridiculous.
Come on.
This girl has made her own money since as long as I can remember. And we know she went through her mental breakdown, but don't we all have one of those?
Absolutely.
Sometimes?
It's just
And
that we are not famous enough
We're not
to be on
famous.
TV.
And our estate, some of us, our estate not worth $60 million. And this young lady said she wants to get married. She's tired of this. She feels bullied. She can't even sometimes go out of her house. They made her get an IUD where she cannot have a child, and she's dating someone. And that girl that girl can work and make her own money. And they need to, if she needs psychiatric help, you know what? Get a live-in nurse that she can hire herself, not someone that her dad hired. And I'm glad she spoke out. They need to free her. This judge needs to let that go. That girl how old is she?
Yeah, how old is she?
She's my age.
She is
She's
past
38,
30.
39.
Okay, she almost 40 years old, and she can't control her own money. To me, this is just ridiculous. And she has 2 children. So where are her children?
This is terrible.
She's 39.
They're a little older.
They're a little older now.
They're
They're
a
probably
little older.
preteens and they're probably teenagers now.
Yeah,
Yes.
but just the idea that you are trapped. And this
Yeah,
is what
this is
happens to a lot of
ridiculous.
child stars and a lot of people who peak early. Yes, they're brilliant and they're creatively so talented and they're mega stars, but a lot of them fall short, and a lot of it is due to their parents mismanaging their money, mismanaging their career because their egos get involved and don't allow their child to shine anymore because then it becomes all about them. You know, so I think this is a classic case of, I mean, this happened to Whitney Houston, you know, where her and her dad fell out with each other because of mismanagement of money, and he sued his daughter. I mean, it's just unbelievable that a parent would
And
do
Beyonce
that.
too had to let her dad go as well.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
And I think there's, you know, pride goes before a fall. So
they need to
It's
free that
bad.
girl
Yeah.
and let her get her money. It's ridiculous.
It needs to be, you know, you go to jail, you go to jail, all y'all go to jail, the judge go to jail, everybody go to jail, because at the end of the
ridiculous.
day, this is modern day slavery.
Come on.
When you enslave someone that they don't have a right to use their own body to do what they want to do, you take their money, you make them work, you make them do things that they don't want to do. It's modern day slavery. So you go to jail, judge, father go to jail, everybody go to jail. Free Britney.
Britney.
Free Britney.
Hashtag
Come on.
Britney.
Free her.
Yeah, get that girl her money, and if she want to blow it all, you know what? She can.
Yeah.
She earned it.
Michael Jordan
Come on.
did.
She
Why not?
earned it.
Why can't she?
And I don't blame her. She said she ain't doing no more shows till her daddy get off. Nothing, girl, nothing. Don't do anything. Take your allowance and tell him to go somewhere where the good Lord split him. Y'all better figure it out.
Joshua, what's your
PG-13.
input? These ladies are really going for
Joshua.
the Free Britney.
Yeah, Joshua.
No,
what you say?
no, but I agree. I agree with everything you all said. I think free and Britney, that is the hashtag, because how many of us would like to work for our money? I mean, it's almost like dad is playing the IRS times 2, right? You already got to have the Uncle Sam's going to take your money, then your daddy's going to reach in your pocket and take your money as well.
And giving you an allowance.
An
on the money
allowance
you're
at
making.
30-something years old.
For your good.
Yes, please
Child back.
exit left.
Like we
We're not
said
doing
at the
that.
table, like we said, Free Britney. Let's now go to South Africa. And Erica is wearing a traditional South African necklace. I don't know if she did it on purpose, but
queen.
yes. And we are talking about the famous actor SOMIZI MHLONGO. He's saying he cringes when he hears parents speaking English to their children. I am the same.
Yeah, I think I agree with him on this one. Listening to him.
Oh, he's
And,
fabulous.
I mean, he's absolutely fabulous. He does live the life. But
The
what
life.
I appreciate the most about what he's saying, and I've watched so many of his videos, I think he is wise above his years. You know, like
he
literally, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I just heard Rafiki. Like, he's literally so just like this wise, whimsical,
Yes,
you know,
he
almost magical man.
He is
You know what I'm
magical,
saying?
baby.
And so what I love about listening to his
Amen.
words is that he's telling people, you know, you should, for black children, they should go home and you should speak your mother tongue. If they can't recognize their mother tongue when they're older, then that's going to possibly give them some type of complex, some sadness, some regret and resentment. And I agree with that. I think that it's important that we have a culture. Every house on my street has its own culture inside.
Yeah.
We live on the same street, but every house has its own diverse culture.
Yeah.
And we all speak our own languages, and it's important that we do that. And if you have the opportunity to be bilingual, trilingual, speak those languages with your children, because it gives them a sense of belonging and connection to their ancestors.
And I think that's why I'm appreciative to my parents, because being born in Zambia, my mom is Zambian and my dad was Zimbabwean. But growing up, my dad spoke to us in his native language, and my mom spoke to us in her native language. So we grew up to speak both languages fluently. We spoke English at school, but at home, they spoke to us in their native language. You know, and I'm trying to do it with my children too. So sometimes when I say words, they know what I'm saying, because I speak my native language with my mother. My mother lives with me, and I speak my native language with them. And when I'm with my brothers, we speak both languages. So they are not confused when they hear us talk. So sometimes even when I say it in my language, he knows what I'm saying. And he's trying to say words in language. Like when we're eating our traditional food, he doesn't call it cornmeal. He says, "Mommy, I want sadza." Or sometimes when, depending on who is around us, he says, "Mommy, I want shima." And those are both words from two
That's
different
good.
languages from my dad and my mom. So I've tried to instill it in my children, because I think it's very, very important. So even when I take them back, they know that I can belong here. So it is very important.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think it
same
is
thing.
too.
Yeah,
I think it is too.
It's the same thing with Jamaica. You know, when we're home, we speak 100% patois. You know, when we come outside, we taper it so that people can understand, but it's 100%. You know, the Jamaican dialect could be rough. You know what I mean? It can be harsh. But when you're in school in Jamaica, you learn the Britain accent, the Britain English. So when you're coming here to the States, your parents push you to learn English. They push you. When you go to school, make sure you pronounce your words. Make sure you're saying this properly, because it can be so hard. So it's important.
I was actually
agree.
surprised that this was so controversial, because in every other culture, you think about the Asians, you think about the Hispanics, it's a normal thing for kids to
is.
grow up bilingual.
is.
So I didn't understand why what this gentleman said was something that was kind of taken aback by
Well,
some
you know,
people.
Oh, you
some
know,
Spanish
you
people
know.
don't teach their kids
They
Spanish
don't.
when they get into
Yeah.
America. Because I'm like, Some people I'm talking to them, and if their parents are speaking Spanish, and then you say, you can't speak Spanish? And they're like, no, but both of your parents speak Spanish?
Yeah.
I fought the parent.
Yeah.
Don't get over here and Americanize your kid. If you speak 3 languages, your children should be able to speak 3 languages.
That
A
part.
mess.
Talk about controversial. Michael B. Jordan is in the news, but this time he's not with Lori Harvey. It's about his rum, and he says he is going to change the brand of his rum because Trinidadians are not having it. Real quick, who can do it? Quick mention.
But it's not only Trinidadians. I think people need to understand what Javert means. So it's a celebration. Back in slavery days, slave masters used to make fun of the slaves by doing that, dressing up like them and mocking them. When emancipation came through the Caribbean, now the festival belonged to the actual people. So like in Jamaica, when you hear Bacchanal, that's what the Javert festival is. So it's really a celebration of freedom from slavery and no longer being mocked. So that's why people took offense to it, because it really is something special to the Caribbean people, and it means a lot to us.
But good news is he's changing the name. So
Yes.
good job, Michael B. Jordan. We love you. Up next is Style Check. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Candy Steele from the talk show Point of View. And Juneteenth means a lot to me, but more than anything else, because I am of Jamaican descent, it means a time in our country where we can educate those that don't know about slavery. Yes, there's still a lot of Americans around this world, around this country, that don't know what slavery is. So Juneteenth is the ability to start a conversation, not to just end it, so that in a world today where we're asking for love and peace, it can be diversified. The fact that it's a federal holiday means everything to me as a Black woman. So when you ask me what Juneteenth is, it's a day of pride, it's a day of celebration, and it's a day of education as well.
Hello, my name is Kaya Chombori, host on Point of View. What does Juneteenth mean to me? Juneteenth means hope. Hope that one day my 3 Black boys are not going to be judged by the color of their skin. Hope that one day my 3 Black boys are not going to face police brutality. Hope that one day my 3 Black boys will walk free, because America is the land of the free. Thank you.
Hello, my name is James John. I'm the host of The Lowdown right here on Afro. Juneteenth is special because it's the day that the government officially recognized that all men were created equal and Black men were truly free. We must never forget the blood, the tears, the sacrifice made by those that came before us so we can enjoy the thing we call freedom today. Now, we know everything in this country isn't perfect, but Juneteenth serves as the hope that one day they will be. Thank you.
Welcome back. Fashion is a beautiful thing. It allows people of all kinds to look good and feel good about themselves. Taking us through this fashion bus is Katrina Lee Jones. Take it away.
Yes, girl, I'm on the bus, but I'm the driver though. Yes. Hey, y'all, what's up? All righty, so we have some fashion tips for y'all today. I just have to, loosen up, make people laugh. That's what I do.
we love
I'm a
you.
comedian inside.
Yes,
I
you are.
am.
Yes.
I'm full of jokes. But anyway, let's get to our first fashion tip. You know how when you have your shirts and your bra sticking out, I have 2 hacks for you. You can be all fancy and buy you a bra clip, but if you don't, girl, use a paper clip. A paper clip will do you well. It will do you well. All righty. Anybody have it? Oh, and this one is fun. You know the upside M sign, the camel toe? Listen.
What?
So here's a trick to get rid of your camel toe, girl. We keep it real over here in the field. Listen, you get your camel toe, you need to measure the inseam of your pants. And you go get you some felt, but it needs to be hard felt, like stiff felt, and you sew it in there, and you will get rid of that little girl in the middle.
That's a lot of
But
sweating.
listen, the felt gonna catch it, girl. But what would you rather do? You rather walk around with that camel toe, or will you just wear to
I
go
thought
ahead and
it
get
was
some
in
felt?
fashion at one point.
It's never in fashion.
fashion for
that
your
is
stuff to be
vulgar.
looking like
Listen,
that.
I heard people talking about camel. I'm from Africa. I was like, what is a camel toe? People started laughing, but I didn't know what it was.
They had prosthesis. I think you're right. I remember they had this prosthesis
That's not it.
thing that they put in there, but it's not
Just get some
side.
felt, and you'll do it that way.
It's just unnecessary to.
It's not-
You know, we need to have some kind of. We got to draw the line. Okay. I need 4 seconds. We got to draw the line.
Yes.
On
That
the
camel toe.
vulgarity. You know,
Yeah.
I think that we don't recognize what's sexy. Why do we want to be sexy? When I talk to girls, I ask them, why do you want to be sexy? If you're sexy, you're having sex. But why are you having sex? Like, we need to draw the line and
Tell
start
them that.
teaching our children to learn how to be modest.
Yeah.
That there's a way to be appealing, which is what they really want to be, is appealing.
Yes.
But you don't need to be sexy before you're really ready to have the effects of sex. Like,
Come on.
Yeah.
See that? And
Teach us.
all of that camel toe brought that out in her. That brought that out in her.
Yeah.
But she
Okay.
is so correct. So go ahead and get you some stiff felt and go ahead and sew it in there, young lady. And listen, we all have been in a place where we try on clothes or we're home and we put on our clothes and deodorant gets on our shirt. So this trick is turn the shirt inside out. And this is only for powdery deodorant. It's not for the gel ones. It's not going to work on the gel ones and those oil-based ones. You turn your shirt inside out and you rub it. And so that means you rub it, you rub it together. So that means the fabric on top of the fabric and it'll deodorant and the powdery will go away.
hack.
So don't do don't be getting no napkin, a white one at that and rubbing. Girl, stop it. Don't do that.
Or
so
put
that
it
was
on after you put your clothes on.
Well, but
or
people
just
don't
get
always.
a layer. Like, wash your body. Use a washcloth. That's what gets the stink away. You don't need all that.
Yeah.
You don't need all that.
Oh, I have
Just
to put
do
on my
one.
deodorant because you all would not sit at the table with me, and I take a
No,
shower.
put it on, but
every
just
day.
so much. I think that's why people
No,
get it on their
y'all would
black.
be talking about me,
And then it's
texting
all
about me.
caked up and
Katrina
got
smells.
the
That's what you all would be doing. But use that hat, girl, to get that deodorant off of your shirt, especially when you're in a rush. And this last one is so much fun. I always tell people, listen, sometimes your shoes hurt. So this is a really cute trick. Halfway full of Ziploc bag with water and stuff it in your shoes and put your shoes in the freezer. And especially if new ones. Now, if they're old ones, please clean your shoes off before you put them in your freezer.
Okay.
Oh, they
And
need to
if they're old, if they're old ones, put them in, because sometimes you wear shoes and you wore a couple of times and they still don't stretch out. So the water is going to expand when it freezes. So that means it's going to give you a little stretch. You may have to do it 1 or 2 times. New shoes, do it. Old shoes, please clean the bottom. Please clean the bottom. But that's it. No. I have another one.
Okay, one more.
Yeah, I do have another one.
Okay.
Big bust girls. That ain't me. I'm not in that club. But big bust girls, when you want to wear a wrap dress, you need to find one that has a little volume here and give you an hourglass. Put a belt on with it. Show a little midriff. And you'll be all right. Show them girls a little bit.
I'm not in that club. So.
I'm not in that club either.
I'm in that club, but
I'm not in that club, but I love it when they do, girl. I was like, I don't like girls, but I do stare at her breasts once in a while. I will, because they look good if they do it right. Look how sexy that girl look right there.
She looks
Yeah.
wonderful.
And she's covered,
It'll
just
hold
like
it
you
up.
said.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
great, and she's not showing anything but her shoulders. And the other one I have, you know what, big girls, if you want to wear a swimsuit, you need to get one that gives you a little bit more coverage. You still can be sexy.
Erica says it's not sexy.
Yeah. You can still
Appealing.
be appealing.
You're
You're right.
very young,
When they're very young, but
Yeah.
she's
This
an
is
adult.
lovely.
She's
yeah,
an
for
adult.
our age, discerning
Yeah.
women.
it looks good.
Certain
Yeah.
women. And do a balcony bra. Not really, don't do a halter top. Do a balcony bra, which is just going to give you a little bit more volume here to hold your girls up, because those girls need to be held up. But anyway, let's go. Let's move on to some trends. And, genderless fashion is out.
Oh, yeah.
This I like, because a man or a woman or any gender can wear this look. It looks great on both of them.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it looks great on both
Yeah.
of them. I would not know if that was made specifically for a male or a female or in between, so all genders can wear this for sure. So
Yeah,
what do
that
y'all
looks
have? Y'all have
good.
anything about genders?
No,
I
think
like it.
This looks great. I love how hers is tapered to fit her waist, her shape. But
Yeah.
like you talk about belts before, everyone needs a good belt.
Yeah.
This would be good with a belt too. I like this. I would definitely do it.
You wear too?
Yeah, it all depends. I'm with most of it, but there's some lines. I'm with Erica. Some things need to be kept sacred, and so some separations are okay. But I think a lot of this is cool. I think it's some cost savings if you can get together with your significant other and y'all can share closets. Why not? why not save the money? But there are some lines I think.
I didn't think about it like that.
Listen, I'm always thinking about the cost savings. If we can save and share some of the same stuff, that's fine. But there will be at some point a line.
A line.
Joshua has spoken. A line will be drawn
line
on
will be
something.
drawn.
So that means you're not wearing a skirt.
I am not. I will not. There will be no midriff here.
Even if you go to Scotland, you're not
I was
gonna
gonna say.
Are there black people in Scotland?
Yes.
Like,
They wear skirts?
They probably wear kilt.
I might get with my brothers and put a skirt on for a day just to blend in with the culture, but here in the States,
I'm gonna get with my brothers and
I can see that. I can see that. And you know what? Just like you said, no crop tops. So listen, halter tops are coming back this season in so many ways. So I would say if you're one of those girls, itty bitty breast committee, because I can't see the other word, you know, or even, you know, if you're not too busty, girl, get you a halter top. Go ahead and have fun with it.
Yeah.
And it's all trending back again.
I can do a halter, but it depends on how low it goes down, because that side boob, I know people think it's sexy, but when you have bigger breasts, if they don't sit right, it's not
You just get the halter top a
sexy.
little larger.
Yeah. Or the one strap bra.
What if
know
you
I
have
mean?
all that? You have small breasts and then you look like a linebacker on the side. I mean, do you
Well,
have
that
to
means
wear-
you shouldn't wear a halter
That
top.
ma-
And you're not looking
shape
just
is
like
right
a
for
linebacker
you.
in that halter top,
Yeah.
honey. You looking like a linebacker in everything. Girl, stop. But anyway, we're going to move on to minimalism. Yeah, you are. This is something that, you know what? No fuss about it. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
putting it on, and it's just real simple. You know, I call it not much fuss. That's what minimalism is to
I
me.
wish I could do that.
You could, girl, that looks almost
You
like
can
that
do
blue dress
that.
she had
You
on
wore
yesterday.
You can do that. Look at
You
you.
know, I like the most, and that's the problem. I've tried this look before, and I was a little uncomfortable.
It was too minimalist
It
for
was
you,
too
wasn't
minimalist.
it?
Yeah, I need a little bit I need a little zhuzh.
You do need a little judge.
But sometimes it's good to just kind of.
I said that about her
Yeah.
yesterday. She needs a little judge. And she knows she has her eccentric thing going on, only that she can do, honey. Trust me. But that's all we have to say for a style check. And we will be right back. Oh, I want to say bye, y'all, but we'll be back. Bye, y'all.
Hello, welcome back. How men dedicating their entire life to their career can be detrimental to them and their families. And today we have a man to chime in. Come on,
picture.
tell us.
You know, I think I love this subject because this is my life right now.
Come on.
Well, my son was born in March, and that was right before this whole pandemic thing broke out. And I got to spend the first 6 months just exclusively at home with him and my wife. My wife also had a C-section, which I had no clue that that's major surgery.
Major.
So being there taking care of her and my son, it changes your life completely. Because I got to bond with him in ways that I would not have if I was in the market, coaching and going into organizations like I usually am. But I got to agree. This is what I believe is the start of building the community back based on family structure. You want a strong society, you got to have strong families.
Amen.
And I think getting men back in the home and being more present, that's the answer to how we build stronger communities.
Wow.
In my opinion.
Wow, that's powerful.
We appreciate your
to that.
opinion. We validate your opinion.
Yeah.
Affirm your opinion, and we uphold your opinion. Okay, let it be known.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
thank you for recognizing that a C-section is major surgery.
It is.
And a woman coming out of that and healing from that, it takes time,
It does.
but it takes partnership. So I'm grateful for my mother being my partner and helping me to figure out how to even just put myself together some days. I mean, there were days when I was just so tired and just so weak and just didn't feel like myself because my core was literally adjusted and shaken to my core.
See, that's the thing. A lot of men, and it's not no shade, but a lot of men, we don't understand that. We don't understand. It's not just a physical healing, but it's a mental and emotional.
Yes.
My wife, we're in that room, that delivery room, and she looks at me because we had to have an emergency. So she's tried to push for like 4 hours. My wife looks at me with tears in her eyes and says, "I'm sorry, hon." And I'm like, "Sorry? Sorry for what?" she was sorry that she couldn't give the natural birth.
birth.
So she felt less.
Because that's what society
Exactly.
makes us feel
So
like.
she felt lesser than a woman at that point. And imagine taking that home after the C-section.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man, what women go through when they're going through that.
Well, I think for that part, before we go, a different route, that's when I say to hell with society. I had 3 boys through via C-section. It wasn't something that, I wanted. Obviously, it was an emergency C-section. But, society has made us who've given birth through C-section to feel less than a woman. And sometimes you question yourself, okay, but we do that to even women who don't breastfeed. So it's just the natural thing people do. But, coming back to the topic at hand, I think that, a father being present for his children or for his family, it's very important.
Yeah.
It changes the dynamics of everything.
Yeah.
You can see the health of a family. I'm not, shutting down single mothers or mothers or, fathers who raise kids by themselves. But when you look at a family with a father who is present, who bonds with them, it's a very healthy family.
Yeah, it is.
It's a very healthy family, whether they're raising boys or they're raising girls. It's a very healthy family. And I think the pandemic forced a lot of families to bond. Yeah. So the pandemic either broke you or it brought you together. Because I've known people who were like so close, and I'm like, you divorced? Why?
Yeah.
Because now you're starting to get to know each other. But for the long part of life, I think women were taught to stay at home and we bond with kids, and men are out there working. I don't think that's why we don't have a healthy society.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And to your point, when we're talking about men not really being present, if you think about it, a lot, it's like the principle of 2 have a greater return. So when you look at the house and the home, when the man is in the home, we look at all the stats. Your children are less likely to get into like serious trouble. They're more likely to go on and get further education, go into their career. Men, fathers in the home make a huge difference because we determine the outlook, oftentimes, of our children's outlook on themselves and others. And so I couldn't agree more that it's very important.
I don't want to take it left. I know when I had my son, I was a single mom. And, we got through it, you know what I mean? But I got to give credit to where credit is due, because my husband was a single father, working full-time, trying to balance being dad and work. And me coming into the picture, the dynamic is so funny now because it's me trying to balance, so that role is reversed. So I think it's important to find the balance so that work does not absorb your time or take away from your family. You have to remember you have children, you have a responsibility. Yes, we need you to be the provider. Yes, we need you to be a breadwinner, but we need your emotional state even more. That child, that baby, be present. You know what I mean? Find the balance between saying, okay, I work a lot and I have this demanding job and I have that demanding job. But guess what? I'm a full-time mother. I don't get a break. I don't get vacation. We don't get to take off. You know what I mean? So that support is important, and men need to understand you need to be present. You lay down and had this child, you gonna take care of this child.
You enjoyed that moment, didn't you?
You
You had so much fun making this baby, but then you want to just disappear and act as though it doesn't matter that you're present, and that you're there, and that you're like willing to dedicate yourself to the legacy that carries your name.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that
doesn't make
sense.
that doesn't make sense to me either. But I am really, it's profound to me that the pandemic had to bring men back into their homes, and to them to really sit down and see what they're missing. As dads, because as moms, we do a lot. You miss a lot of when you're a dad and you're not present. And sometimes you have men that are there and they're not present. And the children notice that as well. So I commend the fathers out there saying, you know what, if I have to go back to that job, working 55 hours a week and traveling, I don't want to do that. I want to spend time with my wife. I want to spend time with my children. Or if they are separated, I want to spend more time with my children. Because a dad shapes a child. I don't care what people say, like, oh, single mom, this and that. No, a dad shapes a child differently than what a mom can. We come in and layer, but a dad gives a child their foundation. And we need to understand that. And it could be either good or bad. So I commend the dads for saying, you know what, I want to be with my children. And that's good.
And I commend the dads too, but I also want to acknowledge it is tough. It's
It
hard
is.
because price and the cost of living ain't going down. It's going
No,
up.
no, no.
So for men, we feel this pressure of, man, I got to provide. I want to make sure that we're taken care of. I want to make sure my family, which is my pride, I want to make sure we're not living under a bridge. And so what it does is it creates this kind of escape to where you have a hard time balancing both. And I think because of how our society has been built for so long, men haven't really been taught how to balance at home. We've been taught how to balance work, and we do that easily, but we haven't been really taught balancing that home life.
But I think that's where a woman comes in. You know, a woman is
If
supposed
they
to be
listen.
your, yes.
Yeah.
But your woman is supposed to be your peace, not your panic.
Yes.
So if the woman is able to be the balancer of your life, I mean, I don't know if there's a word name, but balancer, but if the woman can balance your life, then you can go out there, work, and still come back with your mind sane, and we can enjoy this life we have created together. But if you're going home to a place where
It's chaotic.
Come on. Yes. Yes.
us women, we have to take
Nagging.
responsibility
Yes.
of ours
You didn't
too.
do
You know,
Yes.
I want my man to come home, and I want to be his place of peace. I want to be his place of comfort. I want to be. I don't want
you
him
don't
to
want
panic.
him to. You don't want him
Yeah.
to take overtime because that keeps him away from you longer.
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
Because
and
he
so-
feels like it's overtime coming home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that's unfortunate,
It's
and
work.
it happens a lot.
A lot.
And I don't think a lot of women recognize that we are the tone of the home.
Yeah.
Like quite literally, we are
said it.
we have to set the tone for the day in our home. And if we don't do that, then everything else can just go awry. And it never returns the way that it's supposed to. The people don't return the way that they're supposed to because everything is out of sync in the home. That is our responsibility.
Well, it's never too late. We can still rebuild the family structure. Up next is Girlfriend's Guide. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, I'm Katrina Lee Jones, a co-host of Point of View on Afro TV. And the question is, what does Juneteenth mean to me? It means a delayed freedom. My ancestors were held in bondage for an extended period of time when they were supposed to be free. But now it means also we are working for freedom, we're striving for freedom, and we have perseverance like no other. That's what Juneteenth means to me.
All right, it's Girlfriend's Guide, and today we have a man to actually share
Yes.
his thoughts with
Yes.
us. And a topic at hand is, would you break up with somebody over a text?
I'll let Joshua
You know,
go first.
as far as breakups are concerned, they are hard as it is.
Yes.
Now, it is infuriating to get a text saying, I don't want to be with you. But I'm the only one on the table who says, I will do it. And I'll tell you why. Before Joshua comes, sometimes you know who you're dealing with. What if I break up with you and you kill me?
Okay. So we're on the same page. We're on the same page because that's what I was going to say. The only caveat is if that person, you think they might kill you, then you might want to send a text message. All right? That's the only caveat. Everything else, I would say it needs to be face to face.
Thank you.
Because if you don't bring closure to this relationship, it's only going to affect the next one.
Oh, Joshua mentality.
1.0, 2.0, 3.5. Yes, thank you.
It's going to affect the
Yes.
next
It's
relationship.
going to affect the next relationship
Yes.
because how you leave that one is how it determines the tone of the next one. If you don't have enough integrity to sit in front of the person and say, this is why.
Joshua, you're going to call that integrity?
It
Yes.
is. Because you need to
Come
leave that
on.
person an opportunity to ask questions and grow.
Yes.
Yes.
If part of the reason why we're breaking up is because something that you have a character flaw or something that you're not doing, I need to be able to express that to you so you don't affect your next relationship the same way you affected this one.
What if you don't express it to me? That's why I just want to tell you over the text that it's over.
When you say what if you don't express, what do you mean?
As in, well, again, every relationship is different. Sometimes I think you know the traits while you're dating somebody. The communication is not as good, and this is how you've always done stuff. So I do not want to waste my time because, first of all, you're going to give me the whole I'm sorry, the whole I'm this. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to preserve my integrity, I don't want to come in inside you.
Preserving your integrity.
I'm offended.
No, but think about it.
You
though.
a mess.
Think about it though. When you do that, when you say, you know what, this is why it's not working out. This is what's going on. You were doing both. You cut it off clean. You do a text message that can be interpreted so many different ways.
That's true.
I can interpret it. Maybe they didn't mean that. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I need to go find them so I can talk to them face to face. And now you got a stalker on your hands.
I think it keeps you in the loop too of uncertainty when you text it, because it's like you don't have to be face to face. You don't have to own up to anything. You don't have to admit anything. You can just cut it and, okay, now I'm free to frolic. So it puts the onus on that other person to figure out what's really going on. Just like this graphic in the background is showing, ILY would possibly be interpreted, I love you, but no, it's I'm leaving you.
Yes.
If I spell it out,
Yes.
it will make it more special.
Yeah.
It's special, right?
Very special.
Oh, that's terrible.
Blurred line.
That's not
You know
right.
what? I text message, unless it's a psycho, right?
Yes.
Straight
Only
psycho
caveat.
that you don't, you're
you
like, oh,
calling
you're
me?
crazy.
Oh.
No, you're not you, honey. Unless it's a straight problem, someone is just crazy and you're like, I can't be around. I agree with that. But when you end a marriage on text message, that coward, okay,
Yeah, marriage is
text
different.
me and talking about it's over. Yeah, it's really over. And like Joshua
Wait, this is a
said,
true story?
this is my story.
Oh,
This
wow.
is why you're not in a relationship now. And see, here's the thing about it. No, teach the people, because it's the truth. It's a coward.
And marriage is different,
That does
though.
it should be different, but this idiot texted me and said exactly.
The D word on a text message?
I text message, but wait, when you call the person
I would-
bluff,
he said, "I'm
when you do that
divorcing
and
you."
you say, okay, good, it's done, don't bother come back and try to say, oh,
not
it was a
listening.
joke, oh, you took it wrong. No, people's feelings matter. When you have someone's heart in your hand, you take care of it. It is a responsibility. When you love a person, you give them the opportunity to destroy you. So if you have to do that, break up with someone, you owe it to them.
Yeah.
You owe it to them. But thank you for breaking up with me.
I think
but
if I'm dating, well, okay, this is in my younger days. Let me, because I need to separate the two. This is my younger days. In my younger days, if I'm dating somebody, I don't owe you nothing.
Okay.
I can break over a text message. I can send a snail mail. I can send somebody to break up with you for me. You know what I mean? That was my younger days.
Younger, yeah.
By the
Yes.
older I got, to be honest with you, I think it's when I text you a message, that means I don't want to have a discussion with you. It doesn't matter whether you're going to kill me or a psycho, you're crazy. I just don't even want to be in your presence. So this text is a way of telling you that, okay, I can't even be around you. It's truly over. I haven't seen anything wrong with it until, you explain it better and you explain it better. But for divorce, over a text,
yeah.
I'm
that's
telling you, and
another
the thing
level.
about it is, I'm not a psycho. He had when somebody has a cycle, when someone has
Don't say that. Don't say it.
when
Why would you
someone
say
has
that?
a cycle, you see that's a way of control too. You got to
Oh
be
my
careful
God.
with who you mess with, because in my situation, it was a way of control, because he knew how I valued marriage. So it was easy to say, okay, this is not going to work. But what was supposed to happen after that was the cycle was supposed to continue. So we were supposed to come back and apologize.
toxic.
It's
That is
very
very
toxic,
toxic.
and you
A
have
cycle.
to
Okay.
recognize that cycle. But this time it was like, okay, good? Okay, we're good. But here's what I had to say. If you have the nerve to lay down with someone, have a conversation with someone, date someone, I think you owe it to that person the same way to say, I am moving on.
Sometimes
because
you
you
owe it to
text them,
absolutely.
because you text them,
You can text all that you just
Sometimes
said.
you owe it to alcohol.
Well, listen,
You'll be
I
drunk.
agree with Candace on that one. I feel like you should
Yeah.
have the audacity.
Of
If you're going
course.
to, I mean, not
Takes
for
it all.
flings. Flings should know
They're
their
different.
lane.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in staying in your lane, okay? And if
Hello.
you're
Yeah.
doing
Most
certain
people
things,
don't.
You need to know what it is up front and stay in that lane. Then when you try to switch
Yeah.
lanes, that's your problem. But
Yeah.
if you're in a full-fledged relationship,
Yeah.
you live with somebody, you pay bills together, or you're constantly going out with each other, or you create a child together, you all need to be able to have sense enough, common sense, and just be enough of an adult to be responsible to that person's heart and to be responsible to their mind, like Joshua said, moving forward, helping them to, you got to move on from this, but this is done. And I should say that to you, to your face, and then we move on.
Yeah, but some people don't like
true.
confrontation.
It's not a confrontation if you do it right.
Well,
It can be a conversation. It doesn't have to be a
It
confrontation.
could be, but the thing is, they may, because people make assumptions all the time.
Yeah.
So you may say, okay, well, I'm not going to go in and be all dramatic or anything, but that person on the other side may not know or what to expect from you, so they may want to avoid that confrontation or what they're assuming in their mind that your reaction is going to be.
I think that's true.
Yeah,
So
sometimes they just
I would
don't
say
have enough courage
the
to
middle
do it.
ground, because the foundation here is the crucial conversation. If you're not having that crucial conversation, I can guarantee you there are other areas in your life where you will avoid the same kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not healthy. So can we settle on at least a phone call?
Well,
If
that's
you
what I
don't
was
want to be in the
gonna say.
presence,
Phone
she
call.
said no.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Don't if you
fine.
can't do text, at least pick up the phone.
At least-
'Cause
at
I
least
was-
a phone
Yeah,
call.
because I was broken up with over the phone. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And you know what?
That was when I was younger. I was like, oh.
Like we
all right.
said,
But
we
didn't have no
we
cell
didn't
phone
text
then.
the booty.
Yeah.
We didn't
That's how I
text-
had to
yeah,
do it
people
in high
didn't text
school.
the
Like,
booty.
before
Yeah,
there was
people
a cell
text booty
phone.
calls too now.
Before there was a cell phone, I had to break up with people over
Yeah,
the
they do.
phone.
Yeah.
Or you break up with them at school, or like take it back to a very simple time where you
Yeah.
had no choice
Yeah.
but to break up with people and face the situation. And then when you were in high school and you broke up with someone, you still had to see them every day at school. So that
Awkward.
became a little challenging, but you figured it out, and eventually you don't ever see them because they're all on another side of the campus when you're on, you know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
doesn't really
Go
affect
back
you
to
to
the
just
old
deal with
days,
it
honey.
and
Go back
settle
to the
it up
old
front and in person.
So people
agree.
who have integrity, I mean, they're better people than me. I mean, I have integrity, but in the breaking up area.
Still breaking up on
They
the
say
text.
that there are four times you can actually justify breaking up over a phone. That's when you can't trust yourself to break it off in person, or when you can't trust them, when you barely know the other person. That's a fling that Erica was talking about, or when you know it's mutual. So I think with me, I found myself in a mutual situation where, it's all good. Oh, you broke up with me. Oh, let's move on. You know what I mean? So, but that's all we have for the show today. Remember to leave love, love and learn. And Joshua, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes,
Thank you.
this
It's
was
been
great.
Yes, this was so much fun.
Yes,
to
it
have
was.
you.
Yes, it
Yes.
was. And you have a wonderful amount of
Listen.
integrity. Just pick up the phone and call, though.
Joshua, high five.
It's all you.